Live from New York, it's Get Off My Lawn with Gavin McInnes.
Ryan's making some old school beats, yo.
Those are my beats.
Those are my beats.
Those are my beats.
Sound like the dork from The Office. All I Want for Christmas is the cover of the New York Post. This is a very special episode of Get Off My Lawn because I'm fired. It's the last episode, I guess. I mean, am I going to continue doing this? I don't think so. I've been demonetized on YouTube. So I had my YouTube thing killed, and then they brought it back because there was a bunch of weird, fake-looking copyright violations. And I heard they were from Vans. I talked to Vans. This URL is not available for signing up for AdSense. Please use a different site. Well, I'm not going to start a new YouTube. So I could become a 48-year-old YouTuber, I guess. That doesn't seem very fun. I think I will put up. I have the copyright to all the old episodes of Get Off My Lawn. So those of you who haven't seen it, I'll start putting them up. And I think we should do for this episode. It's not your typical episode because we usually have guests on and we shoot man on the street stuff and we have a lot more variety. But this is just going to be me ranting into the camera. And then I think we'll split up the individual pieces and put them up like Joe Rogan does because I think it's important to copy people. Imitation is the what is that?
Highest form of flattery.
Highest form?
That's why I do it.
Highest. I don't like that. It sounds hierarchical.
Dude, I'm flattered, dude.
It sounds
Yeah, I'm real
classist.
flattered that some half Chinese kids making fun of me. Real flattering.
You're half Chinese? I thought you were half Japanese.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
Oh, I see.
I'm characters, Bill.
You're calling Bill Barr racist, even though he married de Blasio's
Who's
wife.
Bill Barr? I'm not going to let you get away with that. You call me out on every one that I do.
I saw this montage of Trump screwing up words. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that happens when you talk 12 hours a day. You're going to call someone Bill Barr. Take it easy.
Is that Roseanne's brother? My brother, Bill.
So, yeah. You know, my son, when he was... I snowboarded as a young man. I started again when I taught my kids to ski, and I was like, this is way too hard. I can't even bend over and do my boots. I got to go back to skis. And my son saw that, and he was just learning, and he was wiping out all the time. And he goes, why do you get to switch to skis and I don't? And I said, because McInneses don't quit. You're a McInnes. You're not quitting this. McInneses don't quit. They get fired.
Now hand me my skis.
Now give me my skis. I don't count that as quitting, though.
Oh, that's going back to basics. You're
Yes.
right.
But in his case, he was just learning, and now he's a great snowboarder. But, yeah, I'm fired. I don't know what to do. I could do a book. I could get involved in lawfare. Maybe someone wants to buy this show. That's why I put this up. Is like, hey, show for sale, marked half price off. I remember my friend Sarah. She was like 32, and she still wasn't married. And she goes, I'm half price off. I'm on the sale shelf.
Discount bin?
I'm in the discount bin.
Bargain bin, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you call now, you get Jordan Peterson. Oh, clean your room. You'll get Bill Burr. What's...
Whoa. Why are you crowbarring in imitations when we're talking about ovaries? That's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Oh.
You're
Well,
like,
if we're
you're like
selling the
a
show.
robot that got wet. Just trying to doing imitations.
Well, I was saying for, a show for sale. If you call now, you get,
So one thing we do on the show, well, two things we do on the show. We start it with a song, and then I talk about the song so I can get away with playing it without getting sued. Can't do that on YouTube because the sword of Damocles is hanging above. By the way, a sword of Damocles, I've realized talking about this so much because I have one over my head now. I've been banned from every platform but YouTube, and we know we are seconds away from vanishing. So please bootleg this. Please take this. Please take all my content. I promise you I will not enforce a complaint. But so we usually talk about the song, and then I hold up the paper so you know it's live and it's that day. And then I talk about a couple things in the paper. Aquaman is big. And I was go look at the hashtag Aquaman. It's all chicks. Chicks have ruined action movies. ladies, you can't beat up 5 guys. I don't know how many times. You know who can't beat up 5 guys? Conor McGregor. Men cannot beat up 5 guys. Why are you taking over? Why? We know James Bond is about to become a black woman. Why? I don't understand. Like, is there a need for men to be in rom-coms where they're sweethearts and they make fried green tomatoes? I don't understand this compulsion to take the most macho of men doing their most macho-y macho stuff, kicking the crap out of 5 Green Berets, and making it chicks. Aquaman is a guy who can talk to fish, and he has shark friends and stuff. And I'm looking through this hashtag, and I just see nothing but broads kicking the. Who's she?
Amber Heard?
What is she? I don't understand. I was in a movie with Amber Heard, by the way.
No, but yeah, that was Johnny Depp's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I played her lover.
What?
Yep.
Did you get a kiss?
Nope.
Okay. That's gay.
And when we were shooting the movie, there was paparazzi everywhere, and I had no idea who she was. And I go, what are they doing? It's not me. Why are they snapping pictures? And she said, I was in this stupid movie. And she didn't say, I'm Johnny Depp's new mistress. Minor detail. Yeah. But here was my favorite. Show the black dude. This was my favorite.
I don't know why that's funny, but he's got his hands clasped.
About to check. No, show it. You go, so there must be something I'm missing here. Like, scroll down. Maybe there's a fish on the ground. Or click on the actual picture. There's nothing there. It's just, first of all, who tapes a flag to their wall? But but so you have a flag taped to your wall, and then you just go, hey, take a picture of me on the way to Aquaman. Like, you have to have some sort of context. Be at a seafood store or something, or be holding a fish.
Hey, man.
Or be in the bath. I don't know.
There's a bike and a wireless router on the floor. I mean, give him a break.
Man. About to go call my dad.
That really is a pointless
About to go get a cheeseburger.
He's suited up. He's got his pea coat on.
All right. Well, good for you. I hope you enjoy the film. Wish you nothing but the best.
I'm trying.
Anyway, so my options are, did I say my options already? Lawfare, writing a book, doing a comedy. I might do a movie. And, people will go, well, you can't do a movie because you're a pariah. No, the gatekeepers are gone now. The gatekeepers were so strict that people started their own thing. It's like the oligarchs in Russia when they had to form a black market. So I can do a movie. I can charge people individually behind a paywall. I'm afraid that you turned us into outlaws. So we're good. We'll always bounce back.
What did Owen Benjamin say, too?
Owen Benjamin said something profound. And I want to keep this show light because I want to show people what the general tone of the show was, which was it was a comedy show.
Yeah.
But he did say something profound. He said, guys like you and me, and going back to Lenny Bruce, not that I'm in the same league as Lenny Bruce, but we're valves. Psst, 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 psst.
I think we get it.
You got it?
Yeah.
We let out steam. And you need that. You need the Archie Bunkers. You need the assholes. Oh, we can swear again.
Yeah.
That feels good.
Effing right we can.
Fucking shit. This is like when you're at home with your wife and the kids are at school and you're like, fucking this motherfucker.
For no reason.
Listen to Slayer in the house again. We release the pressure of society. Whether you like us or not, it's important to have them. As George Orwell said, within every joke is a tiny revolution. And you need us in there to release the pressure. But when you stifle us, you allow for tyranny. And right now, the left's tyranny is pretending that America is an evil, racist hellhole. And hate is everywhere. There's signs everywhere. Hate has no home here. You have signs in windows of stores. Hate has no home here. Okay, if you had signs everywhere that said rape has no home here, and signs in stores that says rape has no home here, you'd go, oh, there's rapists everywhere. And that's what the left is pushing now. That's the whole push for the next election is we're going to stop all this hate happening everywhere. You look at the SPLC map, and it's just like, hate groups. There's one every block. It's sort of like when you look up sex offenders and you're stunned to see there's 3 in your neighborhood. It's like that, but hate. And that's a dumb angle to take because it's not America. And when you censor us and we go, no, we're not. It's not hate. We're not haters. It's not about racism or anti-Semitism. Blah blah blah. Calm down. When you can't defend yourself, they go, see, there's more hate everywhere. There's Nazis everywhere. Hey, write me a check. write the SPLC a check. They'll try to stop this Nazi problem. But there's white nationalism. It's everywhere.
Oh, that's their goal, is to say that there's spooky boogeymen out there, so we're the only ones that can help you? That's
Yes,
why
the DNC is using the SPLC and the ADL's platform, which is there's an imminent Nazi tsunami happening. They're wearing Nazi glasses, and we need to protect you from it. And Tucker's getting it real bad. I found an interesting Google Doc, and it's the NRA, the anti-NRA Twitter feed. They've put together this list of all his advertisers, and they show you in the Google Doc, pull it up. They show you where we're at, how well we're doing, shutting them down. And it says, let them know what you think about their supporting someone who promotes white nationalist rhetoric, not true, just not true, and blaming of rape victims. So if I worked at a company and I wasn't big on the news and someone called me and said, hey, you know, one of the people you advertise with thinks that rape victims are stupid bitches and is a Nazi, I'd go, well, I don't know. Can you get me off of that? What is that? Now, the white nationalism, God knows what they're talking about. I think they're talking about when he said that they want us to keep our borders open. He was talking about the caravan and what a mess Tijuana is right now. And he was saying they want us to keep open borders, even if it makes our country worse and dirtier and poorer. We have to keep these borders open, even if, right? And that's a valid question. Like that's someone injecting some color into a discussion, and then you come back with, no, that's not that. But that's not what had happened. It wasn't a debate. What happened was it became, he says Mexicans are dirty, and they're making America dirtier. Boycott. Judd Apatow's pissed. We'll specifically get to him in a second. But the other one, blaming rape victims, I go, that's pretty bad. And that's always what you say when you read the news. You go, that sounds horrible. That person's a Nazi? And then you look it up and you go, no, that's not what happened. Here's what he said. Have I got it here? Oh, yeah. So he's talking to this liberal radio host he has on his show a lot who dresses like Willy Wonka. And he always has a carnation. Oof. Ugh. Who puts a flower on their suit? That guy. Look, he's got a flower.
Is he going
and
to
he always
prom?
has a different one in every appearance. So what he has in a drawer, I hope he's gay. What he has in a drawer is just like 132 flowers.
Which one am I going to...
Yeah.
Yeah, like today. That is odd. He's in a perpetual state of going to prom or something.
Yeah, if he's in a same-sex relationship, then that's fine. That's more colorful. But otherwise, no. So anyway, Tucker is goading him into a discussion, and it's an interesting point. It's just a point. And he's saying, if you allow a Harvey Weinstein to molest you so you can get the job, aren't you perpetuating the problem by not reporting it? He goes, I know. Let me say exactly what he said. No, hold on. I'm not asking her about her reasons. I'm asking about the rest of us. And he's talking about the Kavanaugh chick. The other 320 million people who live here. If he's actually a sex criminal, shouldn't we just be watching this? Why am I reading? Why am I reading next to the picture of a video?
Assault victim, why a trauma victim doesn't come forward, doesn't talk about it
I'm not
right
asking.
away.
Hold on, I'm not asking her about her reasons. I'm sure she has a million reasons, and maybe they're legitimate. I'm asking about the rest of us, the other 320 million people who live here. If he's actually a sex criminal, we have a right to know that, and she has an obligation to tell us. And I know it's hard, but why don't we have a right to know? If there's a rapist on the loose, if you don't tell anybody, if Bernie Madoff rips you off and you don't tell his others and investors, you're part of the problem, are you not? Or what am I missing?
That lagging was annoying. So that's someone in a discussion coming up with a hypothetical scenario. This is my real beef with all this censorship. They're trying to eradicate color. That's a colorful thing to say. And it's something that feminists bring up all the time. Are you morally, socially, legally obligated to report an assault or a crime? And if you don't, are you somewhat, at least partially, responsible? Again, I'm using an interrogative tone, and I'm not advocating what Tucker said. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get a boycott. But he's lost 21 advertisers now because of this, of those two things. One, talking about dirtier and poorer, and that becoming changed into Mexicans are dirty. And then this one saying, aren't you responsible if you don't report a criminal for his future crimes? Taking that and making it into rape victims are stupid losers.
Isn't that kind of like racist of people to assume that he said that they're dirtier? Because if
Yeah.
there's truth to it,
Yeah.
then that's why
Yes,
it's
that's sort of like, remember that kid who had the monkey sweatshirt and it said,
Oh, yeah,
craziest
yeah.
monkey in the jungle? And everyone went, that's super racist. And the black mother's like, what? Where'd you get? Oh, you think my son's a monkey?
Yeah, and the people that are tattling are like, oh, he can't wear that shirt. Why?
Why?
Because he's too monkey-ish.
'Cause you're
It's like,
too racist.
What the hell? And if there's no truth to it, if you're like, Mexicans are like helicopters, they wouldn't be like, he just said Mexicans are fucking helicopters.
Wait, now you're saying Mexicans are dirty. You're going to get that sort of YouTube eccles on us. Here's another example, by the way, that reminded me of this. And we're going to get fun in a second here. Remember Roosh V? He's a guy, a long time ago, he said, if it was impossible to charge someone with rape after you invited them inside of your bedroom, women, or maybe apartment, women would be a lot more careful about who they brought home to their apartment. Dr. Ruth Westheimer said something similar. She said, once you're naked, all bets are off. So as soon as you agree to get nude with a man, there's nothing you can do. I don't agree with either of those things. And the first one isn't a thing. The first one is a hypothetical scenario, like, like a brain teaser. He was just saying, if this crazy scenario were true, and he was trying to talk about, I don't know, slut culture or something like that. But it's a valid little if. It's a valid little wonder. You're allowed to wonder stuff. Not anymore. We take your wonder, we take your question mark, we take your interrogative, and we make it a true statement. Like Cliven Bundy, when he said he saw this woman on a porch with like 5 kids on welfare and her baby daddy in jail, and he goes, I often wonder if they were not better off during slavery. Now, you're never better off as a slave. But it was a question he asked, and that was Cliven Bundy, ruined forever. Hannity is disavowing him, Fox News won't have him on. Because he asked a question. Tucker's rape thing was a question. Are you not? What am I missing? Roosh V's thing was a hypothetical scenario. And he's attacked because the narrative with Roosh V became he wants to legalize rape. Rape has no home here. They should put signs on his lawn that says rape has no home here. Do you have the shot of him getting attacked at that bar in Montreal?
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's enough. So you get the idea. And it's not the end of the world to have a beer thrown in your face. It's my idea of heaven. But you notice the tone of everyone else in the room. And they're right. You should laugh if someone who's pushing hard to legalize rape gets assaulted and gets beer in his face. Good. But that's not what happened here. Roosh V was not advocating for rape. Tucker Carlson was not saying Mexicans are dirty, and he wasn't saying that rape victims shouldn't be listened to, or he wasn't criticizing rape victims. But no, he's got to lose 21 advertisers.
By the way, that was kind of startling for me. That like because she's a hero, you know. He
What?
said a bad thing. She pours a beer on him, and everybody else is like,
yeah.
That's not
Because
good.
they just take the narrative, because there's this desperation, this need for bad guys. This is why I'm so quick to be called a Nazi, because they need Nazis. Yeah. So they go, anyone who doesn't scream like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Donald Sutherland, as soon as anyone doesn't go like that, then they're a Nazi. We got to get our numbers up, they say. And you know what even happened to me once? I said that before. I said the demand for Nazis doesn't meet the supply. And then people were saying, Gavin McInnes thinks there should be more Nazis.
I knew that's what they would say. Yeah, yeah. You can't win. Oh, and they could do anything to the bad guys is the thing. There's no, you just throw a beer on them or punch them.
Should we talk about Judd Apatow?
Yes.
Judd Apatow is going ballistic. He is obsessed with Tucker Carlson. He's obsessed with harassing all his advertisers. And people say, well, that's just the free market. You know, Cadbury chocolate cream eggs supports the slavery in Libya right now, so I don't want to eat an Easter cream egg. Yeah, I get that argument, and that's valid, but that's not what's going on here. They're taking a lie, white nationalist rape apologist, and then they're harassing the advertisers to try to shut them down. Oh, by the way, Judd Apatow called me and Tucker the worst of humanity. You can't look it up, though, because he says the worst of humanity all the time. How gay is this sentence? I think Tucker Carlson is the worst of humanity. Who does his heart break for?
Oof.
Anyone?
You need,
I know for a fact that Tucker's heart breaks for the indigenous people of Papua New Guinea. And when he sees that we have more cargo than them, as Jared Diamond points out in Guns, Germs, and Steel, his heart breaks. It snaps like a twig. Who does your heart break for? Here's my theory about Judd Apatow. So you'll notice some people, especially rich Hollywood people, they get real mad when immigration comes up. And I believe it's because they empathize with their help, their maids. So he took the question that Tucker asked about the caravan in Tijuana, made it into Mexicans Are Dirty, and he thought of Rosalita. Rosalita.
Imagine.
Who's part of our family.
Right.
And he's lying in bed, and he says to his hot wife, who's way too hot for him, when he said that, I thought of Rosalita, and I thought she's part of our family, and I thought she's basically our mother. And then his wife is like, ugh.
Yeah, I was about to say.
She's not turned on by that.
She does. She says, "Oh, honey, that is so." And in her head, she's like, "I gotta find
When
a
you're
dude."
married to these beta male Hollywood types, you must be like, I wouldn't mind a good fucking, you know? Wouldn't mind someone really taking me to the cleaners.
I wish I wasn't in a lesbian relationship
I
involuntarily.
wish I wasn't married to my sister. So then and then he goes, I'm gonna make him pay. And then she's like, ooh, finally we got some excitement in the bedroom. And
then he
then
says
she comes out, and then he starts crying, and she goes, she reminds me of my mother. It's like he's attacking my mommy. And she was just like, ugh.
7 years of dryness.
Right. Get a little softer. Don't be shy. Get a little softer with Arid Extra Dry. He's Arid Extra Dry for pussies.
Strong enough for a man.
Judd Apatow
Made
is
for a woman.
vaginal deodorant, antiperspirant.
Oh, is that what that is? Ew.
So here's my theory. So then I don't know if they consummate and she endures it, or if he touches her after and she goes, I'm really tired. But I know, and I'm guessing, that she went to her therapist after that. And she said, I love Judd and I'll never divorce him in a million years. And he's just become so soft recently. And the way he looks at Rosalita, I know that he sees his mother there. And I know he misses his mother. And I got to be honest, and I'm glad this is never going to leave this room and Gavin can't read my mind, but my pussy gets so dry when he talks about this.
Yeah.
I just want to get fucked.
And
Just-
P.S. It's super selfish of him to do that. He's
when we met, we would do coke and we would get drunk and he fucked the shit out of me. And now I realize he was just wasted. And now the crying and the tweeting and the worst of humanity. Do you know what I mean? I just want to get fucked. Do you know what I mean? And the therapist is like, I guess. I mean, if that's how you feel. But then you know what's happening with the therapist at that point? She's like, I haven't been fucked in a long ass time. And she's thinking about her bald husband with his big beard. and then both of these feminists are sitting there. One's on the couch, one's with a little notepad, and not in their frontal lobe, but somewhere in their subconscious, they're both going, what have we done?
yeah.
What have we done to our own sex
man.
lives? Why did we ruin our own sex lives with all this nagging and naysaying and scolding? What have we done? We shrank their dinks. Now
Dank
we're in
shrinkers.
Pussy Town. We put a pussy hat on our husband's genitalia.
Yeah.
And now he tweets at Tucker Carlson.
You know, women should, by the way, boycott everything that men has ever done. You know, like
I'm sorry?
making jewelry. Men probably invented
Are
jewelry,
you
right?
drunk already?
No, dude. It's just yeah.
Women
Bombed.
should. Are
If
you
they-
trying to say that we invented everything and they should be more grateful?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's Deborah Messing again? Is she in an officer and a gentleman or something?
I thought she was in Two Girls and a Guy or something like that, or Will
Two
and
Girls,
Grace.
One Cup. She was in Two Girls, One Cup. And she was marvelous. She put up this thing. I thought this sort of sums up how a lot of people see the world. And it was a list of all the most successful comedians in the country. Can you pull that up? And it basically sums up what they make in a year. And Jerry Seinfeld just squeaks above Kevin Hart at $57 million. $57 million? I mean, say you fill Madison Square Gardens. How do you make say you make $3 million? You got to do that quite a few times. I guess it's still just over once a month a show. But anyway, you got Jerry Seinfeld, Kevin Hart, Gabriel Iglesias, And then there's some you never heard of, like Terry Fader and the guy at the bottom. Two of them have puppets. Jeff Dunham?
Yeah, Jeff Dunham.
This is called the free market, folks. There's not a king of comedy sitting there with a briefcase full of money going, Kevin Hart, 57 million. Jerry Seinfeld, and Jerry's like, oh, you can't get, oi.
Oi.
I didn't mean to say oi. You can't give me as much as Kevin Hart. I've been doing this forever. Do your Jerry Seinfeld.
You can't give me 0.5 more than Kevin Hart. I've worked harder than him. I'm Jerry Seinfeld.
Oof.
I've done it better.
We're losing you.
I've done
We're
it better.
losing you. So go back to that chart, though.
Okay.
And Dave Chappelle, like all these guys, Chris Rock, they've been doing it for decades. Ricky Gervais came in a little later, but he had an incredibly successful television show that millions and millions of people have seen. And Deborah Messing's takeaway is, no women. Why are there no women here? I don't know. There's
Not as funny?
there's
They don't work hard enough?
what did John Cleese say? Jokes tend to be mean-spirited, and that tends to be more of a male trait than a female trait. You know, and also the way we talk to each other, like I'm constantly insulting you.
Yeah,
Constantly.
it barely ends.
And you're constantly insulting me. That's how men correspond, and it tends to be funny. Women are too nice. Not literally, I'm not saying they're too nice, but for comedy, there tends to be a disproportionate number of them. But I don't understand what this woman's beef is. Like, who's she mad at? And if you scroll down on this thread, a lot of people are mad at the puppet guys for making $18 million. First of all, those guys work in Vegas 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They're there for years, 9 years, just doing show every night doing a show. And here's what you got to understand. There's a lot of old people out there who don't want to hear cunt and cum jokes. They want to just laugh and know it's going to be clean. And there's also families out there, families who want to bring their kids to something and not be offended. There's a lot of Christians who don't like raunchy comedy. So,
Yeah.
sorry, Whitney Cummings, when you're talking about your favorite type of blowjob, you
Yeah.
kind of rule out a lot of people.
Even Amy
Clean
Schumer,
comedy-
too.
What?
Amy Schumer, too.
Larry
You
the
have to-
Cable Guy,
you know.
Jeff Foxworthy, has sold more tickets, more comedy albums than all of Bill Cosby's albums combined. Wait, isn't that just saying he sold more comedy albums than Bill Cosby?
I would believe.
He's way more successful than the most successful comedians, but he's never in any of these top 10 lists. Shouldn't he be in that one, actually?
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, I saw people saying Ellen and other stuff, but that's TV. This is stand-up comedy.
Oh my God! Yeah, this other chick. There's this girl, Shell, and she says they aren't that funny. I still have yet to find a woman comedian that I think is legitimately
Oh, I
funny.
saw that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's pretty rare. Also in the news, the guy who doxed Tucker. This is a very Tucker-heavy episode. The guy who doxed Tucker. How are we doing for time, by the way?
Doing decent.
Doing decent?
Doing pretty decent.
Doing pretty decent. I'm going to start saying that when people say, how are you? Doing decent.
Doing decent.
Pretty decent.
It's like, oh, French.
You can't abbreviate both words, though. It either has to be pretty decent or Pritz decent.
I disagree. I lay it on thick. I go pert dece.
Pert decent.
Pert dece. For pretty good.
No.
PREEGU.
Check out this dude. So, Joseph Alcoff is this major Antifa leader who was just doxxed and discovered. And it's amazing that I get called violent and I have my life shut down, totally deplatformed. I'm left with nothing but YouTube, which we know is flitting. And you think of the way the left talks all the time, the alt-left with this punch a Nazi and eat the rich and kill them all. And the only good Nazi is a dead Nazi. Meanwhile, Nazi just means anyone who likes Trump. Trump should die. And they talk about Trump and they hold his head up, decapitated. The left can talk about violence unabated. No problems. But the right says, stand up for yourself, fight back. If someone wants to choke you, choke them. And I've got the FBI on my ass. Doesn't that seem curious to you? Here's what's really going on. The far left, the alt-left, the radical left is mainstream. They're in the courts. The reason Proud Boys are facing serious prison time for defending themselves is because the Antifa is mainstream. They are in the courts. The DNC. De Blasio loves Antifa. Cuomo loves Antifa. The Attorney General loves Antifa. Proud Boys? No, not so much. But check out this guy. Check out the kind of things he says. Can you just pull up? Are we going to have a lag there? By the way, I have a bone to pick with someone with a Hispanic name who pretends to be this tough Mexican. You see this with Horatio Sanz and with Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
They're not Mexican Aztecs who snuck across the Rio del Grande and busted their ass at a bodega and eventually got to SNL. Horatio's from Chile. He's a rich kid. He grew up with maids. And you can't show up here as a rich Hispanic from Chile, which, by the way, has an economy probably better than ours. It's thriving. Copper, it's a very successful South American country. Argentina, Brazil, Chile, they're doing great. The ABC, we call them. You can't come up here and then see that Hispanics are having it rough and go, you guys are so hard on us. It's so hard. We're undocumented. No, you're pretty well documented, dude. Your immigration lawyer that your dad hired documented you very well. Or Guillermo del Toro. He, at the Academy Awards, was doing a big talk about illegal immigration. We need to come together. It's so hard. Dude, you had maids washing your undies and folding them. All of his underwear were in perfect cubes in his sock drawer. And his socks were also ironed and folded. He has no idea how to work a laundry machine. I guarantee it. And I suspect this guy, Jose Alcoff, is the same way. I bet he's a rich Hispanic who decided to capitalize. You can't be black, but I can pretend to be a Mexican immigrant.
Yeah, he's got the Mencia syndrome.
Yes. Yeah, Mencia is probably the same.
He's Salvadorian, not Mexican.
Well, El Salvador is a pretty rough place.
Fudge.
But keep going down. You got to see some of these guys' quotes. It's eat the rich, destroy capitalism. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Show that one. The fucking lag is insane.
I hate it. It's the worst. I am not team lag.
No capitalist got wealth honestly. Kill the rich. Kill the rich. Just kill them. Just shoot Warren Buffett in the head. That's a great plan. Let's do it. But so it's violence after violence, and this guy I think he starts Smash Racism DC with the giraffe neck guy, Michael Isaacson. They both doxed Tucker's house. And there's a video in this expose that sums up the far left. And I would like to watch it with you, Ryan, and see how long we can take it.
By the way, there's this one too. Dear rich people die in a fire, or someday we will kill you in a fire. So that doesn't look as rich people much options.
A little harsh.
Yeah.
What if the guy got his money in biotech curing cancer?
Yeah.
Does he have to die?
Or how about the guy who started the platform that you're on?
Yeah, that you're using to threaten people. What about Jack Dorsey?
Are you going to send a Terminator back in the past so that way the street will never be created?
Okay, go to that video.
The key to a good neck punch. Oh, sorry. Wait, go to
What would you rather do than watch this entire video?
Oh yeah.
Anarchism's prerogative, or it's guiding principle to.
Okay, wait. Go back to the beginning.
Organizing.
The very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, David.
I can't hear.
So, without further ado, I would like to ask the members of the panel to please introduce yourselves. You want to start out?
Okay, I'm Jackie DeSalvo. I have taught at CUNY. I'm now retired teacher part-time.
I've been chewing wood for 6 years.
I live in a river. It's very dark. I'm seen as a scourge to wildlife, but I'm actually very good for the environment because I help rejuvenate the land by flooding. No, go up to Mark Bray. He's a little short.
And Jackie has an article about Occupy in the issue.
Or him. Is he next? Yeah, let's
My
do
name is
Jose.
And
Of
I,
Pig Watch.
I was raised in a Marxist-Leninist
I don't hear anything.
family that understands intersectionality. On the other hand, much of my adult life has been in anti-authoritarian movements ranging from counter-globalization to some of the anti-military.
Oh, Masson. That's excellent.
Wall Street to Cop Watch.
The
French.
Champagne.
Some of us in my generation have the benefit of having a lot of different angles to this.
No, it's all the same
this
angle.
Question. And
I've noticed this, but just
I
pause it
do
for a sec.
research
I've
and do
noticed this. I
writing.
went undercover with BLM for Project Veritas, and they do this thing where there's a room of 50 people, and they say, why don't you say who you are and what you're doing here, stand up, and you talk about yourself for about 10 minutes and intersectionality and Marxism and how you're really woke. And everyone else, it takes an hour and 20 minutes. Conservatives don't do that. Republicans don't do that. They don't talk about themselves.
They're qualifying themselves because they know they're distrustful because they put on a fakeness. So they're like, what's your fake story? I just want to see how
Well,
fake
it's
you
really
are.
about megalomania. You'll notice that a lot of these people just are so self-righteous and me. Where I grew up, what my dad was like.
You have to
blah, blah.
they make you validate your existence as if you can't just come out with some opinion or
I don't
idea.
care who you are.
Yeah.
It's like this guy when Mitt Romney was running. I think it was David Cross. He said, "This man doesn't care who you are. Mitt Romney doesn't care about you." And I'm like, "Good. I don't want the government to know where I live. I don't want them to care about me at all. I don't want to be on their books. I wish I wasn't registered with the government." But anyway, let's continue to punish ourselves.
I've written on police abolition and other things for Rolling Stone. I do
Rolling Stone.
radio on BBC and on podcasts, and I do independent researching, but most of all, I'm an activist for
An activist,
And
yeah.
You just
he
touched
has,
it
he
about
co-wrote the article on autonomism in this issue.
There's Mark Bray, the Antifa handbook guy.
Hi, my name is
Hi.
Mark Bray. I'm a member of the Black Rose Anarchist Federation.
They all look like little brothers.
It's funny.
The entire
That's
alt
funny.
left is just rife with little brothers.
I'm also the author of this book, Translating Anarchy, the Anarchism of Occupy
He
Wall
holds
Street,
things
based on
weak.
interviews with
He's just letting it flop around. He's like, gravity's a bit too much.
press working group of
Drinking
drug
his
experts.
Joe's tea.
The publisher has a table here, but they do not
Trader Joe's.
My book. I'm selling my book. I'm an academic. I read for a living.
I can't hold anything straight. It's just flip flopping
Can you
around.
imagine? This video is 2 hours. Can you imagine having to watch this?
No.
What would you rather? I would rather. I'm not exaggerating here. I don't want to exaggerate. I would rather French kiss a homeless man. A French homeless man. I'd rather English kiss a French homeless man.
I'd rather kiss that homeless man for the duration of this video instead of watching this video,
I
which
agree.
is 2 hours.
And one time I was on the train and there was this black homeless dude, and I just moved from Canada and I was like a yokel, and he's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I go, "Hi, how are you? You want some of this?" And he has beer in his hand, and I'm like, "I'm not racist, and I'm super cool about other people, and I'm not classist." So I took the beer and said,
Oh,
"Thank you
no.
very much." The second it touched my lips, first of all, it was hotter than tea. It was not carbonated. It could have been piss, but I think it was beer. But also his breath, his homeless breath was all over it.
Oh,
so I
fuck.
I basically kissed him on the lips, and I drank his steaming hot, flat beer.
Dude. What did that get you?
People thought I was really cool.
Oh, who?
Yeah.
There were people around there? Or the
People went, "You're really not racist, man. That was awesome." I got a medal.
Kiss him. If you're not racist, kiss him.
Okay. I would rather take a bowl of live crickets and just eat them at a normal popcorn rate than watch that video. Just be throwing crickets down with their sharp little legs that scrape your throat on the way down.
For every second this video has in length, I would get a small hammer bashed against my testicles. I wouldn't mind it.
No, you're exaggerating.
Yeah, that
I'm
is
not
exa-
exaggerating.
Oh, okay.
I'm being literal. I would take a
my
thumbtack,
God.
a thumbtack that goes in corkboard,
Yeah.
you know, and I would just take it like this, get a good grip, and just start going, pung, pung,
Into where?
my arm, just
Oh,
going up
fuck,
my
dude.
hand, up my arm, pung,
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would do that.
pung. You'd rather watch the video?
Well, let me check. Let me.
Okay, let me clarify. I would do that for up 2 arms, which would only probably take about 3 minutes, rather than watch that entire 2-hour video about intersectionality and Marxist thought
I would
and
rather.
authoritarianism.
I would rather. I mean, I think you got me beat. I mean, physical harm. I don't know if I'd go through
I'd
physical.
rather
pain.
have tits for 1 year,
I would do
large breasts. I
That's-
just wouldn't go to the beach.
that. If I could get tits for 1 year, I'd watch the whole video. That's my deal. I'd love
Okay,
tits.
we're running out of time here. Also in Antifa news, this one is a doozy. So, this guy in Philadelphia says he wants to have a rally called We the People. And it's pro-Constitution, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of old timers show up to these things in Philly dressed as Benjamin Franklin, whatever. It's not my cup of tea. It's basically the Tea Party. So this guy says he's having that. The left, far left, decides that this is a Nazi rally. This is right after the synagogue shooting. It's a Nazi rally that's going to be held in front of the Jewish Museum. Now, the mayor will have given out permits for this. So Nazis show up and say, yes, the synagogue shooting was not sufficient. We want to have a large demonstration outside of the Jewish Museum. And the mayor's like, no problem. Boom, 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 boom. You're in. What are you talking about? And the day of the rally, the Jewish Museum had a tweet out that said, we're still open. If it was 1943 in Germany and Nazis wanted to have a anti-Jewish rally after the synagogue shooting, the Nazis would have went, maybe let's give it a week. This is a bit rich. But anyway, that became the narrative, and Proud Boys were allegedly going down there for this. They were all part of it. This tweet got 4,000 retweets. I had my wife's friends calling her, you're having a Nazi rally at the Jewish Museum? What? And so no Proud Boys were there. I think 2 showed up to check it out. And they were attacked, of course, and they were visible minorities, so they were being attacked by white people. And they were attacking all these old patriots and preventing them from getting cabs, saying, cabs don't pick up the racists. What are you talking about? And so during this insanity where they all showed up, they ended up protesting about 10 people who were like, there's an article about it here on Proud Boy Magazine. I can't recommend Proud Boy Magazine enough, by the way. It's got some good, this is Antifa, calling Mexicans spics. So those guys are Antifa, right? These old, not these old, these Hispanic Marines just show up in town just for fun. They're there, they got some time off, and they go, let's check out Philly. These Antifa show up, start attacking them, and they go, you Proud Boys, is that why you're here for the Nazi rally at the Jewish Museum? Like, what the hell's a Proud Boy? And they go, what are you? And they go, I'm Mexican. Then they start screaming, fuck him up, fuck him up. Those 2 guys you just saw, they start beating the Marines in a mob and calling them spics. Yes, and wetbacks. This is what we're up against here. These are the same guys, by the way, who were screaming the N-word at ICE agents. That's in that same link.
You called him an N-word, yep. ICE agent.
So they don't really care about racism.
It's called
Judd
super
Apatow
woke.
doesn't really care about immigration. He cares about his nanny. He cares about the help. These far lefties, they don't really care about racism. It's never about what it's about. It's always about revenge and a thirst for power. And as someone who's been completely deplatformed, I would say their thirst for power is going pretty well right now. I think they're doing pretty good. I think when the Antifa who threatened, who beat up that journalist at my talk, get away with, they have their probation dropped, no felony charges, yet the guys who defend themselves in a street brawl are facing felony riot, I think the left won. Good work, guys. You got into the court system. That's impressive. I'm impressed. And you know what drives me nuts, too, about this whole thing with the riot, with the felony riot charges? The police had a press conference. The same police who are putting these guys in prison had a press conference, and they made it crystal clear. They said 6 individuals, Antifa, circled the block and came, 82nd and Lex, to park to try to intercept the group, Proud Boys, that was being escorted south on Park Avenue. This was in the press conference. It's in the video footage. You can see them throwing a bottle of urine at the guys, attacking Proud Boys, kicking them when they're down, and then the guys eventually fight back. Unbelievable. All right, running out of time here. I think we're done.
Oh, also, what about the Vic Berger thing?
Which
Vic
thing?
Berger.
The videos he makes?
Yes. His middle name is Asp, by the way.
Vic Berger. Yeah, I like the thing, the Vic Berger's a fraud video. Let's show that one.
Even though that's not exactly what happened, but you know, in my world of editing, it did, you know. And I used a number of those phrases and looped them, slowed them down, and repeated those to get this, and slowed some of them down, so it just looks like it's warping time when he's going, America! I just branched off of those to create this manic, 2 minutes of him kind of shocking people, even though that's not exactly what happened, but it's in my world of editing, it did.
I told you,
Even though that's not exactly what happened, but it's in my world
Stop
of
for a
editing,
sec
it
there.
did,
Isn't it insane in that video, the Cernovich video, how loud the baby is?
Yeah, that's he's not good at editing, is the thing. He's just not good at it. Like, all of his stuff is like 480p. Like, he doesn't know how to screen cap.
I think he's so autistic that he thinks that's trolling. I made it look like you beat your child.
Yeah,
That's a
you're
funny
right.
joke.
You're right. Yeah, because there's no way he's trying to pass it off as real, because it sounds like the baby's mic'd with a louder mic than
Right,
Mike
but
is.
I think
who's
when
in front
people
of a
see
mic.
it, they just assume, I don't know, the baby was nearer the mic. People don't get the way audio works in these videos.
It literally, the only way to think of it is like Mike Cernovich has a mic in front of him, and then off camera there's a mic pointing somewhere, and then
Sure.
the baby went up to it. And it was like, "Ah." It's not how audio works, Victor. Should I call him Vic or Victor?
Don't
address him.
It's like Beetlejuice. You want to say him as low as possible. Let's just finish this.
Shouldn't do that either. Because it's not wrong. Big it is. Zeke Heil, Zeke Heil, Zeke Heil, Zeke Heil.
Why can't you? People are real mad.
Why do you have to go like, oh, Zig Heil? Why can't you go, oh, yeah, that's wrong, too. They shouldn't do that either.
Because it's not wrong. Big
It is.
Zeke Heil, Zeke Heil, Zeke Heil, Zeke
Oh,
Heil.
I know. People do go into a Black Lives Matter rally is not wrong, but people Zig Heiling is completely okay. It's the same bullshit, the same racist bullshit.
Just pause for a sec there. He's right. Gomez is right. It is the same racist bullshit. But I was contesting that one was more dangerous than the other. And I think I could go either way on that at this point, especially after the synagogue shooting. But, because this was before that. But when you draw a swastika in a bathroom, that's obviously terrible. But what do we want dead cops? When do we want them now? Isn't that worse? Isn't that more dangerous? I mean, I think this is what I was talking about earlier, too. You can't have a discussion anymore. I think that there's a good argument on both sides. That Zeke Heiling and calling for dead cops are equal or worse, or one or the other is worse. But we can't discuss that anymore. Now it's just Gavin advocates for Zeke Heiling. And Louis Gomez, the right would say, wants cops dead. That's what we do now. We take a discussion where people are trying to figure things out or argue with each other, which is how you come to the truth, and we go, no, I'm not taking that. I'm taking your question and making it into an affirmative statement, and then also exaggerating it, and then losing you, your platforms, your advertisers. You think rape victims are human garbage, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and look up celebrities Zig Heiling in the name of comedy. Like Sarah Silverman dresses like Hitler himself.
Colbert just did it the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't get people killed. Saying kill people gets people killed. It got those 2 cops. What about
Two cops? We had 5 in Dallas.
in
we had 2
Dallas?
in
That
New
was
York.
insane. That was a full city lockdown.
And you also, with the thing about dead cops is, there's ones where he goes, I'm going to make pigs fly, and he goes and shoots those cops. But you don't know about other shootouts where it could have been less severe, but this guy had it in his head that cops are murderers, and he was determined to go out in a blaze of glory. There's no way to quantify that. So there could be dozens of dead cops based on this narrative getting into someone's head who was, already in a criminal situation and decided to escalate it. Anyway, I'm sick of looking at this guy. He's the least charming person I've ever seen.
Oh, don't say that.
It's like saying the word if you're around black people. You might be doing someone else's voice, and then you'll say, well, yeah, and then he's like, what are all these doing in here? We're happy to eat your muff whenever the you let us. So, can a get a blowjob, please? Right, but if someone called a black person a that would be 3 days off. Actually, it would be more than that, because just a Snapchat is 3 days. And they don't get mad after. It's sort of like blacks with the word You get to say it to them. There's a certain context where it's available.
Even though that's not exactly what happened, but, you know, just in my world of editing, it did, you know.
Yeah, so that's the vid, but
that's the vid.
That's the vid, but you know, yeah, I made it a point too. I see a lot of people on YouTube commenting about his what he looks like, you know, his hair and all that. But I'm blinded by how ugly his actions are. He's despicable.
Yeah, I think here's what I think happened with that dude. He was doing funny videos, and they were funny.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a cheap gag. It's like SCTV almost. Let's make fun of fake TV that doesn't exist. So they have Giuliani going America, which he never did, but whatever. It's funny. And then he nailed Jeb Bush a bunch and made Jeb look like a boob and added all this. And I think that really helped Donald Trump. And the left is so self-obsessed. Like Jimmy Fallon thinks that he got Trump elected by tussling his hair.
Yeah, that changed people's voting.
Yeah, that's why we voted for Trump, because you made him
retard.
human by tussling his hair. But Jimmy Fallon had a big, moment where that, and then there was an article in New York Mag where he's sitting on top of like the Radio City Music Hall sign going, "What have I done? I tussled his hair." And I think this dude feels responsible for helping to elect Trump by obliterating Jeb. So he went crazy, as those with Asperger's are wont to do, and just went, I'm going to just start attacking conservatives. Fuck Jack Posobiec's wife.
Yeah.
Fuck their wedding. Let's release the secret location of that Night for Freedom thing and get an old Jewish man strangled to death. Let's destroy let's attack families. Let's go ballistic.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a sweet guy in all his videos. Like, oh, he seems harmless. But when he's behind that keyboard and he's sending threats to people and he's relentless about it, and he uses like snarky little emojis like "See you soon, big guy," winky, okay, weird Mike, whatever. He's a vindictive, strange man.
That's what we're seeing from the entire left these days. It's so much vindictiveness, so much. They're basically cunts.
He's a cunt.
It's so
Vic
cunty.
Berger's a cunt.
Like I want to argue with you. I want to work it out.
Yeah.
But cunts don't want to do that. They want to ruin you. They want to slash your tires.
He's a girl. He acts like a girl in those emails.
A 13-year-old with a bad attitude whose parents just got divorced.
And he's not funny anymore. And that's the thing too. Like the videos aren't going for funny
anymore. It's not funny anymore. It's some things I want to plug before we go. I want to plug Proud Boy Magazine. I have nothing to do with Proud Boys anymore, but it is a great place to look for debunking myths. When you hear about this evil hate group, go to officialproudboys.com and you can see the true story behind it. I also want to plug this. Email us. As you can see from this URL, this is where you go to sign up for my email list. I'm clearly not that tech savvy when it comes to this new millennial stuff. Maybe I'll get better at it, but go there, right there, and sign up, and I will start sending you emails. I'll tell you what my next project is, whether it's lawfare or a book or a movie or this show. Maybe this show will get picked up by someone and we'll continue doing it.
That'd be great.
And my podcast, I believe, is still alive. Get Off My Lawn. Is still croaking. I guess I'll still do that. I mean, I have this studio. Even if we stop renting it, I have all this. I own all this equipment.
You sure do. What if I do a Patreon thing? Is that gay?
Yes.
Like, and I put on content behind a paywall. Maybe you'll be on some of my
Patreon's
episodes.
Gay. But I have nothing against gays. It might work.
All right, I'm not going to do it because you said it was gay.
What's the matter with being gay?
I don't like it. That's nothing wrong
You're
with
gay?
other people doing it.
You don't like gays?
I don't like being gay.
It'd be funny if you were gay and you're like, I'm not a big fan of gays.
Yeah.
I hate this. That's what they say about black Proud Boys. They go, you're part of a white supremacist group, so you must just be going, oh, God.
Yeah.
I
Right.
wish I could wash it off.
Yeah.
What do they have in Jamaica? That soap cake?
Soap cake?
Cake soap.
Cake soap?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, there's a Jamaican dance hall guy who made himself white.
Oh,
I can't remember if he's Pandagaza or Pandagali. I think they call him the Illustrated Man. What is
Oh, MR Dot.
Is it Pandagaza? What's his name? Mavello. Anyway,
These are different languages.
this is
Pandagalo, Mavello, and we're supposed
There's
to.
two groups in Jamaica right now. You're either Pandagaza or Pandagully.
Oh, okay.
And there's one dance hall star for each side.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And
I
they
see, I see.
wore, and one of them is in jail now for life, for murder.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true. I think their justice system is so shit there.
Oh, yeah.
We got Buju Banton being framed for. Anyway, we've done the Jamaican episode. You can check my podcast for that. But so yeah, this might be the last episode. This might be the last time you see the G-Dog. This might be the end. I might give up on the whole idea of broadcasting a show. We don't know. But I thought I should have one, because the last episode of Get Off My Lawn was there'll be another one until I was fired. So this one is potentially the last. And I'm going to clip all these different sections that we've had on this show and put them up on YouTube. YouTube, I will definitely get banned from soon. So please steal all of my content as much as possible and get it out there. I promise I won't give you any strikes. And to those of you who have been pushing for free speech and understand the importance of an open dialogue and being able to ask questions and being able to talk to people, and for those of you who understand that that's what made America. America is built on free speech. The British government set up different newspapers all along the East Coast way before the American Revolution, and they encouraged discourse, they encouraged dialogue. They said, argue with each other. There should be right-wing papers, there should be left-wing papers, there should be libertarian papers. Proud Boys don't go to Antifa rallies. They want Antifa to have their thing. Let the dogs yap. Everyone, as Mao said, let 1,000 flowers bloom. That's probably the only time I'll ever quote him. But eventually these groups started hashing it out, and they said, why are we sending so much tax back to Britain? Who cares if we owe it? Screw them. And they had a revolution, and they began a country. And that has been the way America was for hundreds of years. And then all of a sudden, we decided, no, free speech isn't something we should advocate. It's a sin to allow for hate speech. And of course, hate speech is up to the powers that be to define. I mean, it sounds logical when you say, I don't like Nazis, punch a Nazi. Yeah, punch a Nazi. That sounds good to me. Hate has no home here. Yeah, I don't like hate. Hate has no home here. But then you give this power to someone else, to the government, to big tech, to the court system, to the media, and they define who the bad guys are. And the next thing you know, it's only their side, and they're living in a bubble. And that's where we are in America today. I'm outside the bubble. I'm ejected. I'm dejected. I'm a lost soul. No. So yeah, I don't know what will happen here, but that's the end of the last episode of Get Off My Lawn. There might be another one next week. There might never be one again. I've got a bunch of different ideas. I'm definitely not quitting. I'm definitely not giving up. And I promise you, the next thing will be big, because you can't kill Braveheart unless you disembowel him. So sign up to this stupid URL, and I'll see you when I see you. Oh, and get off my lawn.